Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show. My name is Dave Juskow. It is 6 o'clock on the East Coast on Tuesday, May 31, the final day in May. Yes, May has 31 days. Sometimes we forget, and I don't know why, but it's like one of those weird months where you're like, I wasn't expecting May to have 31 days, but it does. And this is the 31st, and tomorrow is June already. It does feel like it goes pretty fast since the official start of summer. So I hope everybody had a lovely Memorial Day weekend and Memorial Day. Certainly. Oh, hello, Marcy. Yes, I'm happy to have you back too. Michigan. What the hell is going on here? What do you mean going to Disney? You already took like 2 weeks off. Well, all right. I guess that's all right. I assume you're going to Disney World. I mean, nobody takes off to go to Disneyland anymore, right? It's just not a thing. But yeah, we certainly missed Marcy. In fact, I think last week we were asking her questions, or was that Liz? I can't remember. I know we were asking every time we ask somebody in the chat room questions. In particular, they never seem to be there that particular week. So they're batting 0-2. But anyway, it's really nice to see everybody again, and I hope everybody did have a good weekend. I mean, for me, of course, you're going to Disney World. I mean, it was kind of a stupid question. For me, since I haven't worked in a long time, I mean, now maybe these long weekends will be different for me if I'm starting a job. But, I'm like, oh, right. Was it a holiday? I had forgotten. Hello, Jenny Sanchez, Jenny Cohen Sanchez. Nice to see you. I enjoyed your little Instagram video today. Wearing the Jeff Ross t-shirt. It's my boy. Yeah, New York sports today. The stupid Rangers, the New York Rangers won in Game 7 last night. Big Memorial Day. But the Mets were great. Put up 13 runs on the Washington Nationals, and they have won 4 games in a row, so that's exciting. But, the Rangers can suck it. Being a New Jersey Devils fan, I don't want to see them go any further. Yes, it is Professor David Juskow joining you today. And we have still not as good as the Yankees. Suck it, Mets. What? How dare you? And Mike is with us. Mike just performing at the Jersey Shore this weekend. Hello, Angela. Which is was apparently not the greatest time to do comedy on Memorial Day weekend down the Jersey Shore. That's not Mike's fault. That's just the audience doesn't seem to care as much, I guess. I assume that's just the holiday weekends. I mean, you got to perform Memorial Day weekend, you got to perform July 4th, whatever that is. And Labor Day, probably not the best.
Usually pretty good, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Down the shore?
Oh, I wouldn't go down the shore.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm only talking about down the shore because Attell was in Phoenix this weekend. In fact, who was Angela, right? You went to go see Attell this weekend in Anonymous was, hey, I was going to go see you at Uncle Vinny's in Point Pleasant, but I dropped my keys. So I had to change my plan. Drop my key. What kind of excuse? It's the worst excuse ever.
That's what called to do a joke of mine.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? So Angela, you did see Attell in Phoenix. He said that wasn't that great a show either, but he complains about every show, so it's hard to say. Yes, he is legend. Absolutely. We had a long talk, apparently.
You should have came up to me, Anonymous. I'm sorry.
Wait, you were there? You went to go see Mike and you didn't say hello? What? Anonymous, what gives? How do you not go say? Isn't that like kind of a small club?
It's not a big room, no.
Yeah. I mean, couldn't you just even wave from the audience seat if you were there? Well, that's nice that you were supporting our boy. But anyway, Attell said there was some, what did he say? There was like a shooting at the hotel or something in the Phoenix place. Like, it was something where the security guard stabbed somebody at the pool. And Mike did that? Is that true, Mike?
I did because I had 5 to train or wait an extra hour and leave it at midnight.
Oh.
So I can either leave at 9:30 or leave at midnight.
Yeah, well, I can understand that. Sorry to hear that.
Sorry about that. It's my fault then. I'm sorry, Anonymous.
Well, Anonymous is now quoting a little Billy Joel action, which I appreciate. A little Allentown. But it would be my father fought the Second World War. I spent my weekends at the Jersey Shore, but I know you're doing it for your own purpose. I didn't know Anonymous was a Jersey person. And hello, Catalina from Chile, who I think is having a holiday week, if I remember correctly, for everybody. But yeah, he said there was somebody like the security guard stabbed somebody at the pool, like the guy that worked at the hotel, and they were like looking for him all week or something. Oh, that's right, Anonymous. You tell me this all the time. You live in Manhattan, but you sound just like me. I love going to the Jersey Shore during this time of the year. Hoping to go there soon, but my friend who I usually stay with down in Long Branch, I think his mother is having a problem, so I don't know. Plus, I can't stand his wife. I can just say this on YouTube. She's awful, so it's difficult, but I try and put up with it because, it's fun. I mean, just going down the shore and hanging out. And, again, when those 2 times I will take off my shirt and go in the water, I mean, that's a sight to be seen. Jenny, you live in San Francisco. I'm sure there's better beaches there, but the Jersey Shore is the shit. I think they're staying downtown Phoenix, which is a hellhole. That's what he said. Yeah, downtown Phoenix. I thought downtown Phoenix was supposed to be nice. I don't understand. Well, let's get going. We have kind of a lot to do today. I have like 50 slides today. I really went crazy today, so a lot of good stuff we can talk about. But let's just start with some stuff that happened today that I was reading in the paper. Mike, if you want to show that first slide. This, now on the left, is very beautiful. Julia Morrison. She is an art curator, I think. She's probably a model, too. And that in the middle is Anna Sorkin, who is the Inventing Anna person, the one that was scamming everybody. I think she's Russian and was scamming everybody. And apparently she did a lot of drawings or in prison. And this girl on the left said, I'll have a show of your prison drawings. But since she was in prison, she couldn't get out. The guy in the bottom, named Alfredo Martinez, is a forger, and he forged all her paintings, and that's what they were selling at this show called Free Anna. And now this girl, Julia Morrison, on the left, is complaining that Anna owes her money for the show that she spent money on putting together. And Anna's like, what are you talking about? But this woman on the left, although very cute, has to be the stupidest person on the planet to think that this girl Anna was going to give her money. Like, why get in bed with this known con artist and the guy on the bottom who's a known forger? And she's like, why aren't you guys paying? Then that is on you, you idiot. There's just nothing else to say about that, right?
Yeah.
You're getting into bed with these guys. What do you think's going to happen? No, that wasn't Artie Langbarry. I thought it was too. Anonymous, where are you planning on going in August? Phoenix? Yeah, her necklace was good. I liked it too. And secondly, today, and I saw in the reading in the news, the second photo, Mike, this is Moses Ingram. I guess that's her name. Yeah. And she's in the new Star Wars, the new Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney. And apparently she's been getting a lot of racist backlash for being in Star Wars. And I don't understand where this is coming from, because I remember when they bought on who's the coolest black guy ever?
Lando Calrissian.
Billy D. Williams. Yeah. They put on Lando Calrissian, and I remember thinking, this is so cool. Not thinking for a minute, because Star Trek has shown us, like, it's this society we want where there is no racism. Everybody's the same, right? So I don't know why they're complaining all of a sudden. Star Wars has always had black people on playing parts. It's not like she replaced a white person playing the part. Who's that?
That's her in the show.
Oh, that's her character in the show. I haven't seen the show yet. I'm dying to see it, but where I get it from doesn't have it yet. I want to get Disney Plus. Now that I have a job, I think I can actually sign on to actual Disney Plus, because I think I have all the Simpsons, and sometimes I'm just dying to watch a Simpsons episode, when I'm depressed or something. But Yeah, I just don't understand where all this is coming from. But I suppose in 1980, if there was social media, um, who's Catalina's boyfriend? Who's going to be there on June 9th?
Eric Newman.
She likes Eric. Oh, because he was on the show with Alon that time.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I was going to say, I wonder if Billy D. Williams would have gotten all that, during social media in the 80s. But like Hank Aaron received all that stuff. So maybe Billy D. Williams hasn't just come forward and said he got it too. I just would assume that everybody was okay with Landau Calrissian because he was fucking awesome. So I just can't imagine that people would be upset by the casting of the coolest guy ever, Billy D. Williams.
I mean, there are of course still racist idiots, but there's all a lot of it is just like dickheads on the internet just trying to be trolls. And that always happens.
Of course. It's just this girl should probably get off the internet. I think if you're in a television show, you probably just get off the internet because it's always going to be bad. I mean, you should see what they do to me. I'm on TV rarely or radio shows, and people are awful. Even that Judge Jerry show, when I see it on YouTube, the comments are so mean to my appearance.
Yeah.
And that's just Judge Jerry. I can't imagine being in a legendary franchise, what they do to you. So I think it's beyond being black. I think it's just people just love picking on shit.
Yep.
And it just goes all that kind of stuff. And so this also happened. Picture 3, Mike. I don't know whether you heard about this. This happened yesterday. This dude on the left threw a cake at the Mona Lisa at the Louvre yesterday. Now, fortunately, the Mona Lisa is under bulletproof glass, so they just wiped away the cake, as you can see everybody taking those pictures. Leave that up for a second, Mike, because I want to show you something. But I mean, this was such a strange thing, and the guy was like, he was doing it for like, oh, you got to take care of the environment, and the environment. I don't know what that does. But how are you taking care of the environment if you just put garbage in the Louvre with cake? And you're an asshole. And he posed as an old woman. Now look at the guy in the left. I want you to look at the guy in the left.
Uh-huh.
And then I want you to pull up picture 4 and tell me if I'm crazy. Right?
Yeah, it's Lex Luthor.
He looks exactly like Jesse Eisenberg. So the weird thing about the Mona Lisa is, as I was doing some research on it, that shit like this happens to the Mona Lisa all the time, apparently. Like, it got stolen in 1911 by some guy that worked there. It took them 2 years to figure out, and the police were so idiotic in trying to figure it out. They not only did the police chief who was on the case, retire or quit because he was embarrassed that he couldn't solve them who stole the Mona Lisa. Because, people get really upset about that kind of stuff. Yeah, the guy who played Zuckerberg, Marcy. Yep. Oh, you guessed it before we put it on. Oh, you got it too. Yeah. But they were so bad at it, they blamed Picasso in stealing the Mona Lisa from the Louvre. But the weird part is that they found out that because they blamed Picasso, Picasso panicked, and they found out he actually had some stolen Iberian sculpted heads that he was harboring that he bought from some other criminal, and he packed it up in a suitcase and like tried to run away. And then they found those. But the weird part was he commissioned those heads, even though it was from a shady dude. And that's how he invented Cubism. So it's just such a strange turn of events that, yeah, exactly. The Inspector Clouseau right, exactly. Was he on the case and he could not figure out who stole the painting at the Louvre? Yeah, it was some idiot. Now we know it's Vincenzo Perugia, and he is credited with stealing and later returning in a sting operation the painting. It took them 2 years to find. And the guy at the Louvre, not the police chief, but after I guess he got the guy who was the chief of the Louvre, invented fingerprints, like he almost invented what we have today, all because of this painting. Meanwhile, in the 1950s, the picture suffered an acid attack. That's the guy who stole it?
Perugia. Yep.
Yeah. How about that? Look at him posing with that. How can that be? What an asshole. If they had social media today, he'd be really screwed. But there was an acid attack in 1950s, and that's when they started putting the protective glass on it, and it got semi-ruined. And then in 2009, a woman threw like a ceramic cup at it because she was angry because they were something about her citizenship. So why people get so angry at a beautiful painting of just a woman hanging around, I don't know. What incites people for getting angry at the Mona Lisa? Did you know when the painting left, they had a whole bunch of people come to the Louvre and just look at the blank space that it was in? I mean, people are insane. And
well, in 1912, what else was there to do?
Well, that's the excellent point. Excellent point. Jenny's saying now he has the award for most stupid person in the world. True. But unfortunate name. Do you know his name? Because I didn't think they released it yet. I would like to know what his name is. It probably is stupid, but always known as the guy that threw a cake at the Mona Lisa. I don't even think I'd want to be famous for that. I wouldn't mind being famous for stealing the Mona Lisa. I mean, that's exciting, especially if you can keep it for 2 years and nobody knows. I mean, that's kind of a real, then you'd probably come back as a hero, which he did in Italy, because he was saying when he got tried in Italy, he got tried in Italy instead of France. And then he was like so patriotic about it. No, it should be in Italy. That they put him in jail, but then they like let him go because like, well, the guy's a patriot, even though they're fucking idiots. So
yeah. Well, he died at the age of 44 of a heart attack.
Well, he had it coming. But didn't everybody die at the age of 44 back then?
I think so. I think he was shocked to find out his mom's meatball sauce was scanned.
Barry goes, throw something at that dog's playing poker instead. Exactly. Yes, that was my full class on the Mona Lisa, the history of the Mona Lisa. And that's not even the history. That's the history of the Mona Lisa in the museum at the Louvre, which I don't think it's pronounced that way. It could be pronounced the Louvre, because I know that's the way it's spelled, but I heard somebody pronounce it today, and I'm like, wait, it's not just called the Louvre? Now, that is a place I would like to go. Logan's Run script, age 40. Nice, Barry, right. And Logan's Run, everybody gets killed off at 30.
Yep, go to Carousel.
Carousel. How do you know that?
Because I know too young.
You're too young to know. That's so funny. I remember that so well as a kid, because that was, it's a legendary science fiction movie, even though it doesn't really hold up, but the message holds up. I remember when they go see Peter Ustinov, remember, and they're like all they're like feeling his skin because he has wrinkles, and I'm like, ugh, I never want that to happen to me. Look at the old man. Isn't it fascinating? I even wrote a piece about it in junior high. Like something. I was so obsessed with Logan's Run. Well, that girl was really sexy. Who's that? Michael York, right? And the guy who was in the Austin Powers movies later on. And then they made a TV series about it too. So why wouldn't I like it?
Yep, here's the Carousel.
Oh, you have a picture?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was terrifying. They go through Carousel and then they just explode, right?
They get shot by the onlookers, I thought.
Oh, is that what it is? They get shot?
Like they're getting shot at by the onlookers or something, or they have to dodge lasers, something like that.
Yeah, it was like, I don't feel like they get shot. I thought they always just kind of exploded or something. And it was like, yeah, it's really messed up if you never heard about it before. It's like you go to Carousel at 30 and they kill you. So everybody's young. And then they have like Michael York is what they call them, runners.
Yeah.
He's like a police officer. Oh, they implode. Yeah, that's what I thought. But how do they do that? Well, I guess it's a futuristic thing. So, you have a thing on your hand, I think, that says your age.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to go to Carousel. And if you run, then Michael York comes to get you. But then he's used in a political thriller, by the government to take down some of the people that are running. They feel like there's a place and they mess up his clock, and then he's 30, and then he's got to run.
Yeah.
Let's
That's the one
see.
movie with the goofy line where it's "Run, runner."
Anonymous says, I was at Uncle Vinny's and I saw a picture of him outside the comedy club, and I was laughing so hard and thinking of you. Oh, you saw a picture of Eric Newman. You're talking about Catalina.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
What did you think of the mural on the back of the back wall there, Anonymous?
What is the mural?
There's a mural of a bunch of famous comedians on the back wall, and the artist certainly meant well.
Oh, it's really bad.
Yeah, I can't publish it because he won't ever book me again if I put it on my social media. But I was just going through the video, like they're really supposed to be a tell, and I was like, "Here's Grumpy Joe." And if you ever look at it, you'll know exactly what I mean.
I understand. I've seen some of those caricatures before of my friends, and some of them get very upset. Jenny says, I went to the Louvre once, saw the Mona Lisa. I have family in Paris. I love it there. Also part French on my mom's. Well, you're part everything, Jenny. You're like a mutt.
Thank you, Anonymous.
Oh, that's so sweet. Grumpy Joe.
You're the best one in the audience.
That's what oh, you know what I was thinking is that I wonder if that's the actual real Mona Lisa. I get the feeling it could be a forgery that they show, and the actual Mona Lisa is actually just stuck somewhere in the basement of the Louvre. What do you think?
Yeah, it's under a leaky pipe.
Well, something. I just feel like they don't even put it up because it does, even though it's under bulletproof glass.
It's keeping a table level.
Yeah, I just get the feeling that they don't put up the real one. I don't know why. Yeah, what did I do this weekend? I didn't do anything. I just went to
two more photos, by the way.
What?
Still had 2 more photos.
Oh, right. Oh, well, I have number 5 is that look at the people and think about in 1912 when the painting is gone. Sorry. When the painting, I drank last night. When the painting is gone and they would still be just looking at that space. They look at everybody taking it on their phones. You know, what for what? Why do you got to capture the moment? What's the moment is missing? You're there live. If you're taking a picture of it, you can just look at a picture of it online.
Yeah.
I'm very confused by people that take pictures of live performances. It drives me crazy at a concert when people are videotaping the performances because I'm like, you're missing the point of the live performance, you know, let alone when they have their flash on for, you know, it ruins the other person next to you's time.
Yeah.
However, on the flip side of that, I remember going on the train back from maybe the Tom Petty concert. The guy was watching the performance on his phone. I'm like, damn, I wish I had taped it. So it's hard to figure out. And the last picture is my favorite, the one I remember as a kid. You can just show the number 6. It's the Mona Lisa with. No, wait till it comes up.
Well, sorry, but mouse.
That's okay. With Mr. Magoo's face on it from his TV show, The Famous Adventures of Mr. Magoo from the 70s. I always remember it as a kid. And he played all these famous characters. But I read, and I thought it was a joke, that somebody actually did a painting of Mr. Magoo as the Mona Lisa, and it actually went for $600. That can't be right. Right. If you're recording the full time, just buy a DVD. I'm so right, Catalina. And then, right, Anonymous. I love Tom Petty was great. I was so glad I got to see him just before he died. I saw him in concert multiple times. Actually, once I went, Kevin Brennan and I traveled to go see him. Kevin Brennan and I used to go to concerts together all the time. He was my concert buddy. Isn't that weird?
That is really weird.
I know. It's really strange. That's how I met Neil. That's how I met his brother. I think we all traveled to go see Billy Joel together.
That's crazy.
And it was so funny. Neil was 11. And I'm like, now listen, kid, let me explain to you about comedy. If you're going to do comedy, you got to do it the right way. And he was so funny. I guess he thought that was the funniest thing because he even puts it, he tells people all the time I was a huge influence on his comedy career. And when I think about it, when I see it, I'm like, it must have been when I met him when he was 11. And I was like, now listen, kid. And I was just doing that bit all the time. And it was great that he was 11 and he totally got it, you know. Now, kid, let me explain to you the basics of comedy. Number one, always be funny. Number two, when you're not funny, still pretend you're funny. It was like all just stupid stuff like that. He was a good kid.
It did go for
But
$562.
I thought maybe that was a joke or something. How can that be?
Well, it was done by the actual artist from the show.
The one I just got. Oh, that was real. Oh, right. They didn't have photoshopping back then. Somebody had to make it.
No, they the one in this title sequence isn't an actual painting, but so they got commissioned to make actual paintings after the fact, and that was one of them.
Really? I used to love that show as a kid, mostly because the opening theme song was unbelievable. Been singing it for years, but the show itself was boring. In fact, then it took me down this rabbit hole today. Well, yes, it is, because Magoo, the Mona Lisa, you've done it again. Yes. I went in a rabbit hole of all Saturday morning cartoons, and Hanna-Barbera was just absolutely awful. All their shows are so bad.
You don't like Loop-a-de-Loop?
What's that?
The one with the French wolf.
The French wolf?
Yeah. There's a bunch of them.
The French wolf?
Yeah, it's like Yogi Bear, but it's a French wolf. So.
How do I not know that? I used to watch them all. I mean, I was a Saturday morning junkie because that's all there was. And I was watching their thing, which is their openings were amazing. And they have the Saturday Superstar movie, which the theme song is amazing. But then you'd go to like an hour-long cartoon of Lost in Space or Nanny and the Professor or That Girl or Gidget. And they tried to do all this stuff, and it was awful. No, Marcy, I was too old for the Smurfs when they came out. I actually stopped watching Saturday morning cartoons at that point. That was at the end where it wasn't the same, or maybe I had stuff going on. No, the guys on Ass and Angela, I think, were Sid and Marty Krofft. They get. I don't remember him at all.
He was
How
not
did I
as
not know that. He
was not as beloved as.
Apparently not.
He was more on the lines of Lippy Lion.
Well, of course, exit stage right. Snagglepuss.
Yeah, he did not reach the stratosphere of Snagglepuss.
Right. Oh, wait. I know those guys. That's different. That's not Loop-de-Loop.
No. That's Lippy Lion and Hardy Har Har.
Hardy Har Har. God, right. That's even, I think, before I was born, or I was like really.
Yeah, they're all from the 60s.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, the Hanna-Barbera should be sued for what they did and took advantage of children. And if you look at their backgrounds, they're one of those people that just go same background over and over again. And let alone just when you see Bugs Bunny and the dialogue, the writing that goes into it, the comedy, and that's from the 40s, and that was better than Hanna-Barbera, who had better, ways to make cartoons back then. They just didn't care, and they really went off. Yeah, it's Hanna-Barbera half-assed their work with 12 frame per second cartoons. Exactly. He knows what I'm talking about. They half-assed their work. It's the exact right answer. And they just put out cartoon after cartoon, but none of them were good. They all don't hold up, and they were boring, but there was nothing else on. Yeah, I know. I know.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids, that kind of horse shit.
Well, then they would do all the Pupper, Happy Days and the Fonzie and the Happy Days Gang.
The one where he had the time machine?
Is that what they had?
Yeah.
The Partridge Family, 2020 AD. It was just awful. In fact, we're going to talk
in space.
We're going to talk. Oh God, right? Josie's on a rocket ride. The Pussycats are by her side. I know. We'll talk more about this in a second. Actually, I'm going to start the slides. There's so many today, and there's some Saturday morning talk about that. I'm going to share my screen, Michael.
Okay.
And I am doing it right now. So,
all right,
I got a whole bunch of stuff for you today. So we are opening with the First Lady and my favorite, what do you call it? Her counterpart, Is that what it's called? Her opposite number. That's what they call it in James Bond. The First Lady of Ecuador, whose name is, get ready, I can't pronounce it right, Maria de Lourdes Alcever de Lasso. I mean, she has just 100 names. And I just like this one. They are at the Society of Jesus in Ecuador, but I like that that security guard probably shouldn't be photographed. He's got to be like a Secret Service guy. And it looks like they're just staring at him like, are you going to do anything about this? The First Lady is yelling at me. What should I do? I mean, they're not supposed to be photographed. What the hell is this guy doing? Oh my God, Barry is great, right? Speaking of Fonzie, you're so right. It's so great that Henry Winkler's that. Barry's amazing. Bill Hader's a fantastic. So right on that. Great show every week. Amazing. And this is the president who's with the Prime Minister of Tokyo. And I find this one interesting because, as you can see, all the soldiers are wearing masks because it's Tokyo. They're used to this. They invented it. I just find that fascinating. I don't think our soldiers do that, and why should they? But it's pretty fascinating that they're all in. This is Brazil. There's a flooding, but doesn't it look like this isn't a flood, and this is the way their house is built? Because it's on columns.
Yeah.
So it seems like they are prepared for this. I'm not sure what the issue is here, but then I have this next picture. Does anybody know where this is? These poor kids. Anybody at all?
No
It's Prospect Park, Brooklyn.
Oh, wait, it says it on the very top.
Oh, you see it? Oh, I don't know if anybody sees it. Yeah, it's just funny because it looks like it's some impoverished land that had flooding, but it's just Brooklyn.
What happened out there?
Nothing. I think it just rained and there's a puddle. It's just, we always show those pictures of flooding and stuff like that. Oh, Marcy, you found Barry from me from the podcast. Terrific. Great. Good. Because, right? Isn't it great? I mean, what's better than having Henry Winkler in a show anyway? He's so beloved and great. He's so good on that show. Finally won an Emmy. I don't think he ever won for the Fonz. So whatever it takes. I'm glad people appreciate him. Obviously, Adam Sandler did. Anybody that grew up with Happy Days worships Henry Winkler, knows he's like, you never had a bad thing said about him. The actor who played him was amazing. He's just like a sweetheart of a guy. I know Sarah met him once and just said he was like the sweetest guy. And yeah, all the actors on that show are good. Thank God for this. We are rid of Ellen. This was her last show. What a horrible human being. And thank God we don't have to put up with her anymore. Hopefully she'll never be seen again. You're welcome. And as you know, it was Fleet Week here in New York City. And this is an unbelievable shot of one of the boats coming in, I guess in New York City. I'm kidding. Obviously in New York City. But you see this boat and you see how like amazing. It looks like they're about to tip over. Venus Boys 3, why is Ellen horrible? She's just apparently a horrible person. I think that's why she's quitting. She got a bad rap, and to not get canceled, she resigned. Right, Mike?
I think so.
Her staff was just saying she's intolerable.
Yep.
So otherwise, I was all in if she was cool, but then I heard horrible things about it. So, so I took, this is the picture of the Fleet Week coming in, and then that reminded me of the Mushulu coming in. Does anybody know where all these people were watching on a boat? They didn't have the luxury of just kind of being able to be like social distancing. They're coming in to Ellis Island from The Godfather 2, where Vito Corleone could only look at the Statue of Liberty from his room with a one window and glass that he had to stay for, was it 6 weeks or 6 months? I think it's 6 months because he had smallpox.
Yeah.
So he had to be what do we call it? Quarantine, right. On Ellis Island. Tell him he has smallpox. He needs to be quarantined for 6 months. Can you imagine? The guy didn't even speak, let alone English. This guy, and there's, even though this is a fake story, there's got to be stories like this. I can't even imagine. I would never be able to handle this myself. And the best part is, this is his room. As you can see, this is the opening of Godfather 2. This is his room. Okay, this is where they quarantine him. On the other side, he just looks at the Statue of Liberty, which is so mean. It's so cruel. Well, you can look at it, but I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, who knows? I mean, I think the fascinating story would have been to feel like how he even meets his wife, or how do you come out of there as a 9-year-old and work it out? But
well, he didn't have to work for 6 months.
What?
He didn't have to have a job for 6 months as a child.
No, I know. And then what happens? What's in that suitcase? I hope there's some food or something. And I don't know. I mean, some money. And then this is his grandson. Remember, they cut to his grandson being confirmed in Lake Tahoe in the 50s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that, does anybody know? This is his grandson pretending he's going through what his grandfather went through. I'm kidding. Does anybody know who this is? It's actually, Mike, don't cheat. It looks a little like his grandson, but he's in the same cubicle. It's Tom Riddle from Harry Potter. Huh? See? There's Dumbledore. Look. They're in the same room. They ripped off The Godfather 2 and Harry Potter. I'll tell you that J.K. Rowling, she's a troublemaker. And she hates trans people. Yes. And this is what happened to this kid. Grew up to be this guy in the opera in Godfather 3. He becomes an actor in an opera, and he looks like a clown. And this kid grew up to be Baltimore. I'm just trying to put the things together. Godfather 2, Harry Potter. What? Anonymous, you never seen the Harry Potter movies? I know none of you have seen them, but you should, because they're awesome. I love them. I have seen them multiple times. I love every one except for the 7th one. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows #1 is one of the most boring movies I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. Like a whole hour of them doing nothing.
It's a whole hour, Mike, of him listening to the radio.
Yeah.
Of Ron just listening to the radio. The 8th one is great, though. That's a good one. Come on, Tom. Let's finish this the way we started. Oh, thank you, Catalina. Right. Catalina was like on a bus last week or something, chimed in for 2 minutes. Or was that during Marina's show last week? I can't remember. Anyway, this is a massive dust storm coming, advancing on Kuwait City on Monday. This is that shit that if you didn't know about science, you would definitely think God is angry. You can get how people, before they figured out what was happening, would definitely think the gods are angry. I mean, this is terrifying. If you saw this happening, I mean, I'm sure it's just a dust storm. You technically, as long as you're inside, I guess, and even if you're outside, you could probably withstand it, but it doesn't look inviting. Another reason not to live in Kuwait. And these people, a tornado went through here on Saturday, and I feel in a way, I don't want to be rude, but they might have deserved it, because this is what you get when you live in a town called Gaylord. Thank you.
What?
It's Gaylord, Michigan. If you move to a town named Gaylord, you kind of deserve what you get. That's the way I look at it. Gaylord? Who lives in a town called Gaylord? Why would they even name it Gaylord? They should change it immediately. But yeah, that doesn't look too, and that's not even a trailer park, so those people really got screwed. And yeah, I know, Anonymous. This is exactly what it's going to look like when I start teaching my class on Clueless. Albert Einstein will be me, and I'm sure this will be the people that are taking my class on the movie Clueless. Nothing? Really? That's not hilarious? This will be the exact opposite class of what my clueless class is teaching on. But how badass is this photo? This fucking Einstein, as if he couldn't be awesome in his own right. He also was like a big civil rights guy before there was civil rights, and he taught at like an all-black college, like the first college where they allowed black people to have degrees. Yeah, amazing photo, right, Jenny? I found it somewhere. It had nothing to do with the news today or anything. It just, but of course, it spoke to me in the sense like, wouldn't this be funny if this was my class on the movie Clueless? But it's also just a badass fucking photo. This Einstein was unfucking believable. And look how handsome all these guys look too, you know. I wonder if any of them went on to do great things. It's kind of fascinating. Yes, you're right, Angela. Black men also need to learn about Clueless. So, as you know, or maybe don't know, the Golden State Warriors will be playing the Boston Celtics in the NBA Finals, which should be really exciting. Funny you should say, and he couldn't dribble a ball, Barry. He's talking about Einstein. Because here we are. So this is Steph Curry and Maxi Kleber. I can't remember, from the Mavericks, and the Mavericks lost, Golden State won. But this, and look at the extension. This is when you know you're a pro, right, Mike? The extension of the arm to get the ball in the basket. It's fascinating. But because I am clearly a homosexual, what it reminded me is of John Travolta in the sequel to Saturday Night Fever, Staying Alive. See the arm extension? And Finola Hughes, because that's how gay I am. This is what I'm thinking of instead of basketball. I'm like, oh my God, their arms are extended like in Staying Alive. What is the matter with me? I think I need to be married and have a kid. So people are like, no, I think he's straight. So this is a mural painted on a building in Kiev. It's called St. Javelin. It is dedicated to the British portable surface-to-air missile. Very strange painting, but those surface-to-air missiles, yes, they might save the Ukraine. I think British people have given them these missiles, and they might save the Ukraine. They might win the war. But this is a little much because they're kind of praying to the surface-to-air missile, because with the St. Javelin, holding it, it reminded me, because I'm insane, of the sequel to Planet of the Apes, where they're praying to the bomb. The telepaths are praying to a bomb underneath where the apes live. Mike, I'm the only one that knows this reference, right? Okay. Well, me and David Tell, we've been talking about this.
I got another reference. It's been forever.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
But remember, they were praying to the bomb. They have services, and see, this is when they take off their mask and reveal their true selves. But they're praying to the bomb. This is very much what like this is. And of course, the best is, it's a bomb. That's a bomb. Because then what happens here's just some overacting from Charlton Heston, which is why we like him so much. But of course, that's why we liked Charlton Heston. His overacting was awesome. Would an ape make a doll that talks? Thank you. A bomb, like the two comedians who followed Mike Suarez and Uncle Vinny's in Point Pleasant Saturday night. Yeah, you got it, Anonymous. Nice. Yeah. She went there, Mike. I'm not going to.
They asked me to go first because the host wanted to film something. And I was like, great. That means I can catch that train. So.
Right. Yipes. I can't believe, Anonymous, that's so nice of you to go, though. It's amazing.
I wish I had said hello beforehand.
Yeah, well, of course, we don't know what Anonymous looks like, so how would you be able to say hello anyway? Meanwhile, Anonymous, what do you have, a place like down the shore where you can stay or something? Who can follow Mike's words? He was awful. Well, I'm not saying Mike told me that. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it because Mike never said that. But let's just say. Anyway, as you can see, Charlton Heston, spoiler alert, sets off the bomb at the end of the movie and kills the whole Planet of the Apes. That's right. I spoiled the ending for you. I dare you to sit there and watch it in its entirety. The first one, maybe. Second one, not so much. And where did he get this awesome suit? He looks so good in this white suit. I remember it as a kid being like, he looks amazing. He only shows up in the end. Otherwise, it's James Franciscus, and it's the exact same premise as Planet of the Apes. Damn it. Damn you to hell. Get your filthy paws off me, you damn dirty ape. You just TiVo'd the movie? Oh, sorry, I gave you the ending. Who cares? And here's the cartoon version that we were talking about that they made on Saturday mornings. It was so goddamn popular. They made this awful cartoon movie, TV show rather, on Saturday mornings.
Mm-hmm.
And because Anonymous, he didn't bounce. I think he only bounced the night you were there. I know he stayed over on like Wednesday and stuff. You stayed for most of the show the other nights, right?
No, just Wednesday.
Oh, just Wednesday. Right, Catalina. The only reference you have is that Simpsons one, but this is the actual cartoon. It was an actual cartoon, even though it looks, because the next photo I'm going to show you looks right out of the Simpsons. This is when they were filming Dr. Zaius' script. His sitcom he was doing. And I'm like, well, I think they've gone as far as they can go in the Planet of the Apes canon.
Oh my God, I was wrong. It was Earth all along.
Right, that's the Dr. Zaius.
Dr. Zaius, a monkey.
Yes, we finally made a monkey. Yes, you finally made a monkey out of me. Wait, can I play the piano? Because I couldn't before. You're all so lazy. Oh my God, wasn't that the best? Stop the Planet of the Apes, I want to get off. Wasn't that what it was called?
Yeah.
I can sing.
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius.
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Help me, Dr. Zaius. Yeah. Oh, God. Wasn't that brilliant?
Such a great episode.
Isn't that the one where Bart says, this play has everything?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Here's the animal portion of the show we all like. Here's a little bear, a brown bear walking around the Arctic city of Russia. Hopefully he'll eat a lot of the people there. Yeah, it's the Amadeus song, Angela, but they put Dr. Zaius instead. Yeah, can you imagine seeing that bear walking around? This is a little Arctic fox. A cutie pie, but I don't think you'd want to run into him. This is a fox that's up north. They're over by the North Pole, these two. Yeah, eat Putin. Good one. And this is in Zimbabwe. This is a lion walking around a house. What?
I said, whoa.
Yeah, that's a lion walking around a house in Zimbabwe, which, of course, you should expect. I don't know why that's a big photo op, because remember from in Zumanda, they walk out, and that's Babar. Hello, Babar. Now, Mike, I don't know whether you've seen Coming to America 2.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it twice. I loved it, and I'm the only person I've heard of that loved it.
I liked it.
Oh, you did? Oh, that makes me so happy. But you remember when Babar's grown up in Coming to America 2. He's still alive.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, that's what I liked about it. It was all just callbacks to the first one.
Me too. And I never laughed so hard as when that Peaches and Cream or whatever, when they came on.
Peaches and Herb.
Oh my God. I was laughing so hard because, yeah, if you know the movie backwards and forwards like we do, all those things were terrific.
Yep.
They had those two girls on. My name is Peaches, whatever, right?
Yeah.
all the guys want to touch my boobs when they came on and started singing again, let alone having Sexual Chocolate, Randy Watson,
Yeah.
and that guy going, but that boy's good. I loved the callbacks. I was all in. I even like Jermaine Fowler. I thought he was really good.
Yeah.
I love the fact that his wife, who still looks good, started partying at the end. I thought it was a really good movie, but everybody gets angry when I say it. So
I enjoyed it.
I'm so glad. You and I are the only ones, apparently. Everybody else is a snob and a half, and they just don't appreciate the first Coming to America as much as we do, I guess. This is Shen Yi in Malaysia. It's a third cub of Jing Jing and Dang Lang.
Glad to see them still together.
What?
Glad to see those two are still going together.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been married for or whatever they are in the panda world, but yeah, they just named this panda. It's a year old, and for some reason they just came up with Sheng Yi. I like try and do the accent because that's how you can say it better, even though it sounds completely racist. But isn't that a cutie pie? I can't stop looking at it sometimes. Meanwhile, if it was in front of you, you'd probably bite your head off. But God, they are so cute.
I don't think they're violent pandas. I mean, they're not safe, but
right, they're not safe. No, I don't think they're violent either. And Jenny, we'll let them go. I love the first Coming to America very much. We're talking about the second one. I think everybody liked the first Coming to America. It's so good. And this is just a hilarious photo. What do you call these birds that eat fish like that? It's just
isn't that just a seagull?
Yeah, I guess so. But it's just such a they're called pearl mullets, and they're just trying to swim upstream in Turkey. And I guess this one didn't make it, or he just wanted to commit suicide. And the weird part is, of course, it reminds me of the Finding Nemo birds. Mine. So it's funny. This is the reality of which, you might say, I feel bad for that fish. But even in Disney, they make the stuffed animal.
Yep.
With them eating fish that says mine. So I guess it just shows no one cares about fish. However, this is a humpback whale that, as you know, are close to extinction. And these are divers trying to cut an illegal drift net off of the humpback whale in Spain. They're trying to protect the humpback whale. And why people are still trying to capture and do stuff to humpback whales, I don't know how many times I got to show this on this show. For the whale probe from Star Trek 4. Come on, people, this could be real. They were going to destroy the Earth if there was no more whales. If they didn't get the signal, we had to go back in time and get some humpback whales. Come on. And this is when, they took care of that whale fishing boat when they were in the Klingon ship.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just me? Or are people not getting what's going to happen? They predicted it in Star Trek 4. Who's still hunting whales? It's we recently actually saw, you say you got to see the Raw. I saw Raw when it came out. Went to the movie theater by myself to see it in Astoria. What a horrible place to see a movie. I worship any movie. And Harlem Nights, I actually just saw again for the first time since I saw it in the movie theater 2 nights ago. And it's not very good. It's not very good at all. But it wasn't bad, too, because it's Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy. And who's the other guy? Elizabeth, I'm coming.
Red Fox.
Red Fox. So it's got all these legends in it, but it is not a good movie.
It can't decide if it's supposed to be funny or serious.
Yeah. It was a problem. Yeah. It's really. Yeah, I don't want to tell you anything about that. This thing's like thing. Well, if you guys haven't seen Star Trek, I understand not watching it, especially if you're women. I was on a show talking about movies for women. I was on a Sirius XM show with my friend Victoria, who lives down the Jersey Shore. And she was talking about, well, what can you recommend for women to watch if they want to start watching science fiction? And I recommended Star Trek 4 because it's a good one because it's a comedy, And I think it's good for women. It doesn't, it's a comedy and it's more fun, and it also deals with saving whales. So it's not your usual science fiction plot. And they go back to 1980 San Francisco, Jenny, if you haven't seen it, and it's really funny. If you forego kind of the first 10 minutes where they're still in this Klingon ship because you haven't seen Star Trek 3, it doesn't matter. But the rest of the movie is fun and good, and I think it's a good. You don't have to see the other ones. I mean, if you want to, it's great because the Star Trek 2 and 6 are pretty good. The even number ones are usually really good. 8 is good too. That's that First Contact one. You ever see that one, Mike?
Yeah.
That's the new crew. That was very good too. Yeah, Richard Pryor, we're saying he's in Harlem Nights also. I said that, right?
Yep.
So with this one I put out for Jenny Sanchez. What did I say? Sanchez? It's not Sanchez, is it? No. It Jenny Cohn Sanchez, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I thought for a second I got it wrong. Because there are a herd of goats that are going to a grazing field, because I thought this was in Turkey or Thailand or I don't know, somewhere else. And it's just in Sacramento. And I was thinking of Jenny because it's only an hour away from where she lives. But they are moving these goats because of the wildfires. So there's a reason. Yeah, right, Jenny. You got it. Yeah, you got to see Star Trek 4. You might know a lot of the locations, and it was cool because apparently the Star Trek headquarters are in San Francisco in the 23rd century, and it's really good. It's really fun. You see that one, right, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
It's great, right?
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I have seen it.
It's really good. There's I remember they're in this hospital and this woman is in pain. She's having kidney failure, and he goes, "What do you want?" She's like, "Oh, I have kidney dialysis." And he goes, "Dialysis? What is this, the Dark Ages?" And he just gives her this pill and they fix it. It's kind of like fun because you are hoping in the future that's all they have. Oh, anonymous. Oh, Aunt Judy's having surgery today? Ooh, I didn't know. I do remember her telling me she was having surgery, but it was like a weird surgery, right? I don't know. She usually emails, and she hasn't emailed in a couple days. I'll check in. You're right. There is something wrong with her not being here. I wasn't thinking of it. I'm a horrible nephew. So this is Christ the Redeemer, as everybody knows it, from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. And of course, we all know that when my baby smiles at me, I go to Rio de Janeiro. Nobody? That's me. Anyway, everybody knows this statue. It's a great statue overlooking Rio de Janeiro. However, I don't know if you heard about this, but now this is Christ the Protector, and it's in Rio Grande, and it's larger than Christ the Redeemer. So Rio Grande in Brazil is sticking it to Rio de Janeiro and going taller. It's not ready yet, but it'll be ready in 2023. What's going to happen there? Very exciting between a little rivalry going between Christ the Protector and Christ the Redeemer. Oh, Catalina, your thoughts? Oh, shit. I was thinking about tweeting this today, but this is taken last week. This is Muslim students on their first day in school in Thailand. Muslim women students, because they got to dress up, and the men just get to go in shorts and a t-shirt. So of course this drives me nuts. But Muslim women on their first day of school in Thailand. Like, I mean, how much fun is that not? So you got to dress up like that. Because then I was thinking of the first day of school here. I had to throw in a Clueless thing. And I wanted to tweet it. I'm like, who wore it better? But then I thought everybody would be mad. But who cares? The Muslims treat their women like shit, and everybody knows it. And you guys should all come over here because you can dress like this on your first day of school if you move to Beverly Hills in the 90s. Again, we're teaching more of that this January. Who was what? Catalina was. I know Catalina was partying this week. Oh yeah, she says she went to Kemburu and partied all week. Yeah, I know Catalina was partying this weekend, like acting like a real college student, not just like a Catholic girl. Actually acting out on a little Only the Good Die Young Billy Joel references. Nice going, Catalina. So this is a woman in Houston, Mike, who's using her last bit of baby formula, as you know, we're running out, to feed her baby. But if you look at this baby looks like it's had enough formula. Hello!
She's been cutting it with a whey protein powder.
Exactly. It's a big baby, a big cheeked baby. Maybe yeah, they're cutting it with the whey protein. That's so funny. I mean, yeah. This is how, by the way, I'll be going to the voting booths like this now with my baby. This is the best way to, everybody would vote if they had girls voting like this, I believe. And well, I guess women too. I think we should do this as more of a nation. This is in Australia, casting a ballot at the polling station. This was Saturday. I love that, the rest of the world has their voting on Saturdays and Sundays, and we do it in the middle of the week while everybody's working. Doesn't make any sense. And this is a boat that is capsizing of a bunch of migrants that are falling into the water in Tunisia.
Yikes.
I showed this photo because I'm like, well, can't the guy taking the photo give them a hand? That's why I always think it's like when you see these things happen and people are recording, can't the people recording videos actually, wouldn't it be better if they were helping some of the people that they're recording? I don't know. That's the way I think about it. Oh, Catalina says in Chile they give you the full day free. So you take off from work to vote? I mean, it's a day off. I mean, that's the way it should be. But if you just did it on Saturdays and Sundays, but people don't want to be bothered on Saturdays and Sundays, it's crazy. So this is lightning on wind turbines in Germany. And when I saw it, I'm just going to tell you this right now, it reminded me instantly, and it's a weird picture. This is from Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's what they call the trap field in Ghostbusters Afterlife. It looks very much like this. So anyway, the reason I bring it up is because I saw this on Sunday night, and it's awful. It was really bad. And for the first hour, I'm sitting there, come on, because like nothing happens. And then you realize what it's missing is the comedy. It's the same. They're just discovering all this stuff. It's missing the comedy. And then, finally you get some cameos at the end, but damn, it's one of those things. I was yelling at the screen. This kid here, his name is Podcast, which is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to trap one of the ghosts, and it's just taking too long. And again, maybe it's just being older, but I'm like, come on, catch it already. Let's move on. But it can't just be me being older. I mean, why am I having an attention span problem being older? How are people okay with this? This is taking way too long. Move on with the premise. It's going nowhere. Paul Rudd is always good, but what they do to him in the movie why have Paul Rudd in the movie at all? It's not good. This guy, we got to get rid. This guy's in everything. Unnecessary. Now, I hate this girl. I think her name is McKenna Grace. I'm sick of her too. Keep using the same people all the time, and I'm done with everybody. I like this girl. She was hot. So there's things in it that are okay, but basically the first hour, nothing happens. I'm sitting there. I'm like, have I been watching this for an hour? I'm just waiting. I am waiting. It's not good enough. I am dying to know what you guys think. If you've seen it or if you do see it, let me know. Either a DM or, let me know on the podcast something, or I'll talk about it this week. It was awful. And I don't know if you heard about this. This just actually happened today. Well, I mean, they've been doing this, but in Egypt, they have just unearthed a bunch of stuff, of coffins, like pristine coffins, and a bunch of other artifacts that, quite frankly, should probably be canceled because they were made by slaves. But nobody's ever going to talk about that. Thank you. And what you have to understand is, like, I'm sure what the Egyptians were thinking when they put all this creativity, because I remember we put my dad in a wooden box and threw it in the ground. And there's so much craftsmanship and work that goes into these. You're not even seeing the good painted ones. I can guarantee that the Egyptians were very excited when some douchebag is just taking a selfie with the coffins 5,000 years later. This is exactly what they were hoping will happen. And I don't know why that's just so stupid.
It's the everything with the
it's
hat.
Everything, right? It's the hat, it's the look, it's the hey. It's like, why not do that at the crime scene at the school? Like that's what it feels like. I don't know why it seems morose, even though these are coffins. Who knows? They haven't talked about if they've opened any of them up. I mean, I'm sure it's all bones, but
they're all full of curses.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to be careful. But that was why am I not? Oh, there we go. Hi, everybody. We had a lot of slides today. I think they were pretty good. Right. It does look a little like Johnny Depp Anonymous. He's actually that guy is more handsome than Johnny Depp is now. And I'm not just talking about because Johnny Depp is older. Johnny Depp just is, everything about him, he just looks like he smells bad. Weren't they supposed to decide today? Does anybody know what's going on?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't kept up.
I thought Tuesday was the day they were going to make a decision. Yeah, you know what, Anonymous, also with Johnny Depp, I think he does smell. A lot of those actors smells. I've heard Brad Pitt totally smells. Leonardo DiCaprio, I've heard for a fact smells because we slept with the same girl and she told me that, and that was in the 90s. So I don't know what's with these actors that keep smelling, but what the hell's the matter with them? Why don't they shower? Why don't they bathe? What's worse than smelling? Like nothing. And it makes me sick. I can't, bad breath makes me almost throw up. Speaking of which, I think I came up with a TikTok thing for me, Mike. I did it last night. I should have showed it today. It just happened last night. I have all these videos where I'm doing shots with these girls, and then as soon as I do my shot, I throw up, and I want to be known as the throw up guy. So it's I heard a Greg Giraldo bit recently on monkeypox. It is still relevant. Oh, that's nice. He was the best. Yeah, they don't believe in deodorant, right? Well, because they're one of those crazy people that, like Marina's not crazy, but she was just telling me the other day that those, the deodorant has something weird in it that messes up your body. But I think I'd prefer to have that trouble than smell or be known for smelling. What was I just talking about, Mike? The vomit guy. Yeah, you got to see this video. It's great. They're all like cheering, and then you see me, and I go, oh, it's like the opening of Quincy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, cool. Because I was thinking of using the music in all the videos, but no one will get it under 55. So, which means no one on TikTok will get it. But yes, aluminum, right? It has aluminum in it. But aluminum free, Marcy, I don't know. They make those, but do they work? Right. You're not supposed to be, you're not supposed to not sweat. I think that's the issue. But, there's also nothing worse than pit stains under your shirts. And I wear these kind of shirts all the time that just are, God, I remember having a teacher. I was thinking about this now that I'm going to be teaching. This teacher we had in college, Marty Brownstein, that was his name, might still be alive. And he would come into class in the winter sweating from his nipples and here and stuff. Like, he was just so sweaty. He was a lovely guy. He was what was a political science. The syllabus was you had to get a subscription to the New York Times. And the first day he taught us how to read the New York Times. I'll never forget this. He taught us how to fold the paper. so you can read it properly. And it was so weird. Then and then I remember falling asleep in class, and then he told us he was gay. And I just remember falling asleep, and then he's like talking about something, and he goes, well, all these things happen. It's like, because I should know I'm gay. And I'm like, what is happening? You can't say this in the 80s. Well, that jarred me, but nobody cared. It was interesting that a teacher would say something like that in the 80s, very bold. But then, I was friends with a lot of gay guys. My friends just happened to be gay back then. And then you could party with your teachers back then. And my friends were all going to this place called the Common Ground. It was a gay club in Ithaca, New York. And they were all going, and they're like, why don't you come with us? I'm like, no. I was not ready for that yet. I mean, certainly went to a lot of gay clubs after in the city, but I wasn't ready. It wasn't time. It takes time to be okay with that. That's why sometimes I talk about the trans, when talk about trans folks, you're like, just give people some time. We're just trying to work on it. We're trying to work on it. So I remember they invited me to the Common Ground. Come on with us. And then the teacher was there. And he's like, come on. And I'm like, nah. You want to be polite. I'm like, no, I told you no. But no, I'm not tonight. But we were all going out to party with our teacher, which I guess is something you cannot do anymore. And then I keep thinking about when we went to Rutgers for a summer. We went partying with our teacher. I had a summer class, and we went out drinking with our professor afterwards. Anonymous, you're not allowed to party with your students at Montclair State. Well, I don't think you're allowed to party with your students anywhere anymore. And that's what I'm saying it. Because what a bummer, right? How much fun would it be to party with your students? If you have a good teacher, it was the best. In fact, this teacher, and I'll just tell you this, and we'll leave on this. I'll never forget, again, the 80s, this teacher at Rutgers, we went out drinking with him, and he goes, and somebody was like, hey, come on, professor, how come we can't bring beers to class? He goes, you can bring a beer to class. And they're like, really? So I remember me and this guy who was normal bought one beer to class, but this other kid took it the wrong way, and he bought a cooler. He was like the Spicoli of our class. He bought a complete cooler. He got so drunk, he bought bottles in ice, and then he dropped one. It just splattered all over the floor in class. And me and that guy were like afraid to open our beers. We were like looking at each other like having one. And then we went out drinking again with the professor. He goes, I told you guys you could bring one. I said a beer. And nobody got in trouble. It's absolutely fascinating. You'd think like the janitor would come in and clean up a bottle of beer that was broken up in class, and he would say something that's just wasn't the way it was back then.
Yeah, he was like, oh, man, I missed beer day.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the other question I have, Mike, and I don't want to leave on a sour note, but you live in Texas.
Uh-huh.
Why didn't that janitor have a gun? I mean, I thought everybody's armed in Texas.
He worked at a school.
Yeah, I thought everybody's carrying in Texas.
No, they're allowed to, unless you work at a school or a bar. But
Attell told me that they do the same thing in Phoenix. I was surprised at that.
Yeah, they have that open carry law, but
yeah,
not everyone has one. They're still expensive. I mean, he's a janitor.
I'm just, from what I hear, because I don't live down in these communities, it just seems like the Simpsons always make fun of it. I guess that's why I'm thinking about it. Like it's just weird that there was nobody that had a gun that could, just that's what goes through our mind if you live somewhere other than Texas and apparently Phoenix. What are you talking about? Everybody's packing there. But anyway, so Nick Griffin.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Your thing. Well, because you didn't want to leave on a sour night. I did have the mural.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't want to post it. But that's
no. I found the actual mural.
What? I thought you said you were going to get in trouble for posting it.
Oh no! If I made those videos I was talking about. So.
Okay. So that's wow, that's fascinating. So that's a tell. Well, this isn't bad. I think this looks good. That's Rich Voss, obviously. I think that might be Jim Norton in the back. That I think with playing the guitar, is that Uncle Floyd?
I think so.
And that's Dr. Dirty on the right, John Valvey. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Oh, so the Dice Man's posing in front of the Dice Man.
Right.
Who are some of the other people? I see myself on the left here, on the
That's
very
supposed
left.
that's supposed to be Gilbert.
No, that's me. It's
On the
very
very
obvious.
left?
Yeah, the very left.
That's
Doesn't
supposed
it,
to it's a
doesn't it
picture
look
of
like me?
Gilbert.
I know,
That's
but
supposed
doesn't
I didn't think it was you at first, but apparently it's supposed to be Gilbert.
I'm telling everybody it's me. Yeah, I play the. Oh, there's Bobby Kelly, right?
Yep. And I don't know who that is. It's I think it's supposed to be Soder.
Who? Which one?
The guy in the blue shirt. That's not Florentine because Florentine's
This.
on the other side.
Yeah, where's Florentine? Is this Florentine?
No, he's cut off. He's not on this shot
Oh,
of
I
it.
see. So who is this guy?
The guy in blue?
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be Soder.
Oh, that way. So who's this guy?
I don't know who you're pointing at because
You can't see my arrow. Oh,
yeah, because I'm the one sharing the screen.
oh, right. Sorry. The guy in the very center.
Oh, I think that's supposed to be the owner.
Ah, that makes sense. I think this is fantastic.
Okay.
I love it. Yeah.
I don't know. It looks really silly to me. So.
Well, I like it. Who's the guy with the glasses next to Dice?
The old guy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe that's Dave Juskow.
I think the sentiment's nice. It's just
look what Anonymous said, or Marcy said. Don't you recognize the eyebrows? See, it is me.
I just like the way Attell looks like he's an angry bouncer now.
Who? Oh, Attell?
Attell, yeah.
Well, Venus Boys 3, I swear there was a lot of people who were working for her said she was like one of those people that said, don't look her in the eye, don't talk to her, like that kind of, the way everybody is these days. It's so messed up. I don't care what she's like. It doesn't bother me in the least. We've all, anybody my age, all worked for people like that for years. We all worked for assholes that were mean to us. And that is just the way work was. To be a millennial and just keep calling people out because your work environment sucks, it's just lame. Work sucks. And that's, you hope people are kind and nice. And if somebody's really bad, maybe you call them on it. But this is just the way people are. What are you going to do? She's your boss. You work there and you choose to work there. So I think it's ridiculous. I was actually upset about it when they were picking on her. But if she really is that much of a bitch, then good riddance. Right. Me too, Jenny. I've had so many terrible employers. I could do an entire show about that alone, and that would be a 2 or 3 hour show because I've had every job imaginable in the book, let alone the employers that when I was doing illegal stuff that were so mean and scary. That's a whole nother story. Anyway. Okay. So I know Nick Griffin is in Vegas this week. If anybody's in that neighborhood, he's at the Vegas He's at the Vegas Comedy Cellar this week. That's why we couldn't have lunch today. I saw Mark Cohen yesterday I was at the Comedy Cellar last night. Oh my God, Mike, I saw Yamanika. She was so funny. I actually went down just to go see her. She was so funny. Again, if you're ever in the city or in Vegas, you got to go to the Comedy Cellar. It really is the shit. What a joy it was to see her perform. She was so funny. I swear I was laughing, cackling like I do with Attell. She was so funny. It was great to see her. I love her so much. I texted her today and I said, you were so brilliant last night. Yeah, I know. She was so funny and such a sweet person. And I was really happy to see her. And last night it was so fun. And I'll talk about this on Just Gal in the City this week, but I went to all these places and I was with my friend Laura and we went out like kind of, hanging around and we went and all these people, I went to the sushi restaurant next door to the club and first Nadimer was there. So we had him join us. And then Rachel Feinstein came in with the baby. And so we had all these visitors come in. It was really fun. And it was a very pleasant night. A really pleasant night. I'll tell you more about that on Just Gal in the City if you want to listen to that this week. On Billy Joel A to Z this week, we have Shameless. I know, Catalina, you like that song. I hate it. I do not care about because now I think of it as a country song because of Garth Brooks. But otherwise, we have She's Always a Woman. which of course is a classic Billy Joel song. So we have those coming up. And then I think next week we got Sleeping with the Television on, which might be my number one Billy Joel song. So, oh, you like Shameless too, Anonymous? Ugh. But do you like the Billy Joel version or do you like the Garth Brooks version? That's the weird part. It's like the one song that Billy Joel isn't really known for. Yeah, Rachel's the best. Okay, so right. And Mike, where are you going to be this week? Oh, thank you, Jenny. Thank you for the plug.
I've got no shows this weekend, so.
Oh, me neither. Oh, and Jenny, by the way, you never wrote me back. I need your address. I'll send you a tote bag because Jenny is a Patreon subscriber in the Maggie level thing, and you get a tote bag and you get the bonus show. It's an old Night Flight tote bag. I haven't made any new ones, I guess, because now I give the bonus show, so I don't feel bad. But I have tote bags, Jenny, if you deserve one. So, Country Dave. Oh, Catalina's doing the thing, Mike. I don't know. I think I told you we went to see this guy, our friend Paul Lauren. He's been on the show before.
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you. And he was performing at the City Winery. And he goes, well, this is a little more country thing. And we didn't even know he knew we were there, me and Alon and our dates. We were on the left-hand side of him. And he just goes, this is a little more country. And I start getting up as a gag. And he just, without looking, goes, sit down, Just Cow. And it was so funny. He knew right away I was pretending to get up as the gag. He didn't even look. We didn't even know we were sitting there. It was so funny. What a great guy. Anyway, yes, Mike and I have nothing to report this week, but next week we'll have more. I actually might be opening for Marina on Friday in Asbury Park.
Nice.
So that's something because I haven't done anything in a long time, and I'm playing at another comedy club on June 22nd, which I don't like to usually tell you about comedy clubs, but it's a big deal, so maybe I'll mention this one. Doesn't matter. You guys live far away anyway. But anyway, that's the show. The Comedy Cellar is truly the shit. I was there last night. It is the best. So make sure you go. It's open every night, and they have plenty of shows for everybody to get in. Try and make a reservation, though, because it does sell out. And again, the Vegas one. And this is Mike Suarez and me, Dave Juskow, signing off for this week. We'll definitely see you next week when we start the month of June right here on the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show. Thank you to all our great chat people because it does make this show so much fun. Right, Mikey?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night.